Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League live from Montreal, Canada for tonight's race at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Joe. I'm Bob. And Joe, a fun race tonight. 14 corners here in Canada. And this is going to be fun. A lot of throttle control. Where do you brake? And don't touch the grass. You're just going to spin out.
Yeah, not to mention we have to turn right.
Yeah, that whole thing too. But this is going to be, it's going to be a fun race. It's going to be tough for a lot of these drivers just to try to figure out where exactly they're going to be racing. So let's jump on board here with the 27 of Anthony DeBarro through the turns 1 and 2 section here, a right-hand corner. Coming up a fairly fast corner, all things considered. You do have the option to go up onto those rumble strips. That's not considered an off track. Here through this next set of chicanes, you can again go onto that red rumble strip there, but the second you touch the grass, that's considered an off track, and your lap times are invalidated. Down this back straightaway, looking for a place to brake. Braking quite early. You can hear him shift early as well to get down and use that engine to help him slow down a little bit more. Back on the gas through this not very straight straightaway into the hairpin. Big time passing zone, a big area for lockups. So you're always going to have one eye out the windshield and the other eye in your mirror just to make sure no one runs you down. And now here on to the straightaway. One more set of corners coming up. The chicane, a little not straight there again. Running right alongside the river. Heavy braking here into the chicane. Final corner, watch out for the turtles on the inside of each corner, right past the wall of champions. And that's going to be a lap here around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. A fun track. Very technical track, and hopefully one of these days we'll see NASCAR back here at Montreal. In the past, we've seen some great classic races. The Robbie Gordon Schue incident. Just so many great memories here.
And the incident would be...
If I remember correctly, there was a shoe on the racetrack that somebody threw. And there was an incident at one point where someone ran over the shoe and it destroyed their car. And then Robbie Gordon got black flagged, but as a protest to NASCAR, he basically said, F you, I'm not going to serve the penalty. And he wound up winning the race, but NASCAR credited the other driver with winning, so they had dueling burnouts down the front stretch as the ultimate FU by Robbie Gordon. Over in the chat, 4 a.m. Watch says it's so green and pretty. This is actually it's an island in Montreal that's a public park. These are technically public roads here in Montreal. That gets converted to a racetrack for Formula One, for NASCAR, and pretty much any other type of racing series. It's a racetrack that happens to be public. As we see the 77 practicing his way onto pit road. Here's Chris Cabot, as well as the 72 of Jonathan Gaston side by side. Here is Philip Scott. Let's see what his lap time is looking like. Looks like he is going to go and take the green flag here. You know, Philip Scott has had himself a phenomenal season, but he's also had himself a phenomenal road course history, for lack of a better phrase. You know, he is on a winning streak, and he has mentioned his winning streak before here on air. But do you know how long this winning streak Philip has? The last time Philip Scott did not win a road course race in TNR. It was back September 27th, 2021. That was at Road America. That was at Road America. Philip finished P6. Daniel Buttafuoco, who wound up being a NASCAR heat, like an NASCAR heat champion. He's raced in the iRacing College Series. A very, very talented sim racer. Actually wound up winning that race. He led 6 laps. Timothy Johnston, who races here with TNR still to this day, led 23 laps. Anthony DeBarro, who's racing here tonight, he finished 4th. Philip Scott finished 6th. Tristan Maher finished in 7th. So a pretty decent run there. Oh, Philip Scott misses the chicane. He misses his braking zone into turn 1, so he's going to have to reset. But that does get him the fastest lap so far at a 139.8. Little wiggle there for the 47 of Ace House getting into turn 1. Here's DJ Weeks as well. Little bit of smoke up ahead. Looked like Ace House went off track. Let's see what happened to the 47. Oh, already some issues. Oh, hard lick. Looks like he just might have gotten onto the curb a little more than he needed to here. Yep, right in the grass. And around he went. Can Philip Scott gain on his lap here? Going to be coming around getting the green flag. Likely going to be his last opportunity to get a lap in, with only a minute left here in qualifying. Johnny Eckert goes fastest with a 139.72. Scott's going to get the green flag. He'll have enough time to make his way around to complete this.
And so many of these drivers are having little issues here and there, and for the most part, they're by themselves.
Yeah, and these cars have so much horsepower. It's actually difficult to really control these cars under acceleration. I mean, you see right there the 91 getting a little squirrely just off a simple corner that any other racing series, you take that completely flat out. You take it flat out there, but you get a lot of a tire spin because there's no traction control. There's no driving assists on these cars. It's just power directly to the rear wheels, and once you get on them too much, you're spinning the tires, and next thing you know, you're backwards. So checkered flag is out. Philip Scott so far was fastest through Sector 2, a little bit slow in Sector 3. Let's see what he can do here as he comes out of the hairpin. Long side straightaway. No chicane. Here comes Philip now. Oh, he gets a little too much right into the wall of champions. Just a little too much into it. Let's see what Cannizzaro can do. A big hit onto the turtle to the inside. He's going to keep it out of the wall. Cannizzaro looking to improve. So far, he has improved. That time through, he's going to do a 39.7. but I think he might have gotten an off track, so that lap does not count.
That's going to be interesting heading into this, as Scott is not in the first position.
Yeah, Philip Scott going to be starting P2 behind the 90 of Johnny Eckert. There's Johnny on the pit road right there. He's that yellow and black machine. There's Johnny.
In the racing chat, he said he had a perfect lap for his standards. Then he hit the last curb crying.
Yeah, those are very difficult corners to hit there. And once he hit it just right, it's phenomenal. It's so satisfying. But if you get offline ever so slightly, you hit the turtle and that just sends you straight into the outside wall and winds up being race over.
Speaking of turtles, at least they don't have to worry about groundhogs in iRacing.
That is also very true.
Which is apparently a thing that happens on this racetrack.
Yeah, they you see oftentimes just a lot of wildlife because again, it's as you can see this shot here, it's a public park. You know, there's boating, there's I don't even remember what this building is there. I think it's like some sort of aquarium or something along those lines. But you know, you see there in the background behind pit road, that's just one large boating center where they'll do crew races and all that sort of thing. It's, you know, it's their public roads. So there's going to be plenty of animals and wildlife all over the racetrack. Which sometimes could be good, sometimes could be bad.
Very true.
But with that being said, let's take a look here at the starting lineup for tonight's race. On the pole is the number 90 of Johnny Eckert with a lap time of 1 minute 39.729 seconds. Philip Scott on his outside in second. Row number 2, we have Anthony DeBarro and DJ Weeks, John Canizaro Jr. and Alex Boffoli in row number 3. Row number 4 has Chris Cabot and Jonathan Gaston. Adam Stewart and John Canizaro Sr. make up row number 5. Row number 6, we've got Tristan Thuggy Maher and Ace House, who's going to be starting in 12th. That is the race for tonight. That's your starting lineup. As we're getting ourselves ready to go, just a couple of drivers waiting here to start tonight's race, as we will be getting ready to go ever so soon. Pace car getting ready to roll. And as we do, we're going to be getting ourselves heading towards this hairpin. And getting us started. 40 laps here tonight. So these drivers are certainly going to have to get on it. Guilty Spark popping in, saying hello. Hey there, Guilty Spark. Hope all is well. Field heading down the back straightaway. Pace car getting ready to pull off. The field in the hands of the 90 of Johnny Eckert. Out of the final chicane, everyone keeping their cars in line. And the green flag is out. We're racing here at Montreal. Great start there by both of the front row drivers. Getting into turn one, Johnny Eckert's going to have the advantage. Philip Scott's going to have to go out wide. Now Scott on the inside. He's going to have the advantage through turn number 2. He's got the 27 of Anthony Navarro just all behind him. A couple of cars make contact towards the back. Now we've got a 4-car breakaway here as they're still side by side for first. Through the chicane, down this little mid-stretch here. Johnny Eckert has the advantage over DeBarro. Philip Scott drops back to third. Now down the back straightaway. This is where these cars are going to open up and come up towards their top speeds. Oh, the 27 to DeBarro gets a little loose on the gas.
And it shows how much power they got in those things.
That is for sure. As Eckert gets his way into the corner, Anthony DeBarro second. Philip Scott comes in third. Oh, Alec Buckley goes off. He has a moment. We'll see what everyone can do coming into the hairpin. All is well so far. Tristan Maher locks him up. Almost gets into the 4 of Adam Stewart, but all is well there. Meanwhile, in front of the pack, Philip Scott just a little bit further back behind Eckert. And DeBarro as well. As they'll make their way into turns 13 and 14. And down the front straightaway, Johnny Eckert is going to lead lap 1. Take a look at what happened. Jonathan Gaston has also gone off track a little bit earlier in the run. Let's see what happened to him. There's Gaston in the green and white number 72. Well, contact between the 77 and the 08. He just had to make some evasive maneuvers. Oh, as we say that, Gaston has another issue off track. Just so hard to get this car slowed down. Also earlier, the 08 and the 77 come together. As he just kind of missed his braking marker and throwing dirt rods all over the racetrack.
Yeah, they really muddy up there in Montreal, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Island makes sense.
Yeah, that is true. Johnny Eckert leads this one. Scott Stewart in the chat cheering on Adam. Adam having himself a good run right now, currently sitting P9 on the board. Guilty Spark saying impressively clean start. That's what this TNR group is all about. Oh, the 08 has an issue going into the corner, into the final corner. He might have just missed his braking marker. Let's take a look here to see what happened to the 08. He's chasing the 77. And, oh, yep, just a little bit too late on the brakes. We're going to see a lot of that tonight. There you can hear from DeBarro just how light you have to be on the throttle to get this car up to speed.
Yeah, really. I've made that mistake with these cars so many times.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the gas just a little too much, and then I'm staring at the crowd.
Yeah, and you really can't, treat the gas pedal like a light switch. You just have to ease it in nice and slow. Because otherwise, the second you slam on the gas too much, your car is backwards, sideways, and upside down. Oh, trouble. Jonathan Gaston has an issue. Let's take a look here at what happens. Oh,
There it is.
there, just like that. A little too much gas and whoa!
Ooh. Did you back it up and I'll wait? And you got a K turn out. Oof.
At least he's not, stuck and didn't have to Austin Powers that one.
That is true.
As more trouble. This is for Cannizzaro Sr. This is getting ready to head off into the hairpin and just kind of locks him up. And something happens to the 72 as well. Might have just been a lockup. Yeah, just a little connection issue.
Yep.
And as we say that, another issue. This is for the 4 of Adam Stewart. Hits the curb, and oh. Luckily, though, I don't think he actually hit anything. And
He's waiting for a car before I said anything.
What a great heads-up move, though. Just to sit there, wait. It's going to be fine. And, whoa. Gaston! Good save.
Yeah.
Jonathan
moved
Gaston
out of the way.
not having himself a great night right now. As, more trouble. This time for the 25 of Chris Cabot. He just misses the corner and keeps on rolling. Cannizzaro Jr. drives by and says, "Hey, bud, thanks." And now you've been caught up to speed on everything going around the racetrack.
For the next 10 seconds.
Yes. Until more things happen.
Yeah. Accurate. Looking like a good lead.
Yeah, he's got right now just almost a second lead over DeBarro. Philip Scott almost a second behind DeBarro. And the last couple of laps there, Eckert the fastest. Scott picking up about a 10th over DeBarro. So it'll be interesting to see where this takes us as the race goes on.
Yeah, it's always interesting, especially with, I feel like, this kind of race. What's going to happen with tire wear and pit strategy?
Yeah, I think tire wear and pit strategy are going to be the big things. Do you try to undercut? Do you try to run the race backwards and say, okay, I know I can do, X amount of laps on a tank of fuel. If I do a full fuel run at the end of the race, that would mean I would have to pit on, this lap. If it's one stop, do I come in and pit on that lap, or do I run the race, normally and go until I run out of fuel, then pit? That's kind of the strategy question, where you could go and undercut just to try to pick something else up, but that doesn't always work out in the driver's favor.
Yeah.
Some more trouble this time for Jonathan Gaston again. You're not Jonathan Gaston. You are Jonathan Gaston. Little too much speed into the final chicane. Adam Stewart also looking like he carried a little too much speed into that chicane. And Chris Cabot heading down pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled stop.
You never know. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. But look at this. All 3 drivers there under a blanket through the hairpin. This could get interesting heading down to the final chicane. I like to call this one dive bomb territory. DeBarro very well could make the move if he needed to. Oh, a little contact there. He does get into the 90, so he's going to have to slow down. He's got a bit of a slowdown penalty, so that'll let Philip Scott get around him. So a costly mistake there for the 27. That's going to let Philip Scott around him. And that was just a matter of DeBarro getting a little too much into it. Let's take a look again at what happened to DeBarro. Here he is on board. Oh, you hear the engine flutter ever so slightly. He got some wheel hop there.
Yeah, I definitely heard that.
And essentially, for those of you who don't know, with wheel hop, that's basically the engine, or the engine giving power to the transmission, which gives power to the rear wheels. Just a little bit too much power, and it kind of causes the rear wheels to vibrate and shake. And because they vibrate and shake, it literally bounces and hops the wheels, which, when it's not making contact to anything, isn't slowing the car down. So you're not braking as quickly as you would expect, and you see that lead to issues just like that.
Yeah. Not where you want to be.
No, certainly not. As now it's a 2.7 second gap back to DeBarro. As now here's Philip Scott trying to make a move and trying to catch up to the 90 of Johnny Eckert. As DJ Weeks catches the wall of champions. And some more issues. Here's the 08 of Alex Boffoli. Carrying just a little too much speed and decides to do his best Schue's lawn care impression and goes mowing the lawn. Adam Stewart also had an issue here. Again, a little lockup. Then Adam again, which is the same issue there. Philip Scott still putting a ton of pressure here on the 90. This is the closest gap on the racetrack right now.
I mean, so far, great racing.
Oh, just phenomenal racing.
I mean, a couple hiccups here and there, but, I mean, this is a very technical track.
Yeah, and it's difficult with these cars. I mean, they're so heavy. They have so much power. Philip Scott trying to make a move around the 90.
These things have power steering?
It has a concept of power steering.
It knows what it is.
Yes. It read about it in a book once that somehow mentioned power steering. 99 still putting a bunch of pressure here on the 90. Over on YouTube, Scott Stewart says, does Adam know you're not supposed to drive on the grass?
50-50.
In fairness, our sponsor for the league here is Schue's Lawn Care. So if anything, I feel like he's just getting shoe bucks and is trying to promote our sponsors. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
of the gap, staying steady here at 0.4 of a second. But every lap, Philip Scott has been picking up the pace on Eckert. As a big gap. Oh, the 90 gets hung up a little bit. Philip Scott almost gets into him. Don't forget our cameras tonight from our friends at Track Cams for Gourmets. Check them out online, trackcams22.com.
Always fantastic cameras.
If you want some more info, you can click on the link in the description down below. Here comes the field into the hairpin. Look at how much time Philip Scott makes going off into the corner, just braking later, braking harder. But then 90 just gets such a great drive out of the corner every single time.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those, I don't know, you know.
Oh, here comes Philip Scott to the inside.
Oh, here we go.
Scott trying to think about faking a dive in. He can't. That might be the opportunity that he sees, though, moving on, and kind of bookmarks that one for later to say, all right, I see how this works.
Yeah, I got a spot.
90 almost misses the corner on the outside. He's going to hug the inside line. That's going to cause Philip Scott to make a move around him. And oh, trouble again. Jonathan Gaston has an issue. Hard lock up, gets into the grass. A lot of Jason Schue Lawn Care Company tributes here as the 72 goes off again. And then looks like Adam Stewart also has an off. And as Scott was saying in the comments, keep it on the paved bits.
It's not as easy as it sounds, I don't think.
No, definitely not. That's why I'm up here in the broadcast booth and not in the driver's seat. And for anyone to be competitive like that is just incredible. Getting word that we have a couple more cars had issues. We'll take a look at those in a moment. Is Philip Scott going to be able to get something going here? No, not quite yet. First incident, John Cannizzaro Sr. Hard on the brakes, just misses turn one. Swings out wide in turn two, able to get collected and back underway. Jonathan Gaston has an issue. Big lock up into turn one. But just like that, Philip Scott to the inside of Eckert. Lap traffic coming as well. Adam Stewart pitted back a lap or two ago. So a little nerve-wracking moment here. Philip Scott tries to take advantage of it, can't quite get there. Adam Stewart, great move by him to move over. Joey Logano fan over on YouTube says, hello. Hello, Joey Logano fan. Here comes Philip Scott one more time. Going to try to take a peek to the inside. Not quite there yet. No, Philip Scott heads down pit road.
Oh, see, this is where... Wow, it's crazy that these cars are only getting about... It can't be that these things are burned out already. It's got to be some pit strategy.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. This might be some pit strategy here.
Because 13 laps doesn't seem like the tires would be too beat up.
Well, there's a pole up. That's not that. Okay, that's a slightly better camera angle we have here.
We're not sponsored by Napa. Though hit us up.
Not unless you want us to be.
Yeah.
As Philip Scott takes 4 tires, he's back out on his way. He's going to drop down to 6th. But he's the first car really to come down pit road. Adam Stewart technically is the first back on lap 10. Jonathan Gaston on lap 11. Now Philip Scott. So it's going to be interesting now to see where everyone is going to be now as far as who else makes their way down pit road. Because that very well could have been all right, I know that I can do about 35, 36 laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
I'm going to pit now and maybe try to run it back and run this race backwards. But let's see if Eckert decides to answer here. He does not.
Yes, he's saying, I'm good.
So Eckert's going to stay out. DeBarro stays out. Week stays out. The rest of the field really stays out. So it's going to be interesting if we wind up talking to Philip at the end of the race, see what his strategy was for coming in that early.
Yeah,
I think
really
likely it's I think it's just going to be a matter of trying to run the race backwards and do something no one else is doing.
Yeah, but to that point, I'm surprised no one else saw him pitting and was like, well, he's doing it.
Very well could be. I'm surprised no one else jumped down when they saw Phillips sent down to pit road.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised with it. Given his literal track record, you would think everyone would have followed.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, Philip Scott, driver the number 99, has not lost a road course race in TNR since September of 2021. He won every road course race in 2022, 2023, 2024, and this is the first and only road course race in 2025. Some trouble here as Alex Boffoli goes off. Oh, hard lick to that inside wall. Definitely got a bit of damage there. Adam Stewart also has an incident. Looks like just a pretty big lockup there. But Joe, back to live action. We've got drivers down pit road. DeBarro heads in. Tristan Maher heads in. They're both down and away. And look at that gap. There were a couple of seconds separating the 27 and the 17. Now, just about 1.5 seconds as they get back up and rolling.
Yeah.
Ace House gets off track, but he's back up and running.
That would be what I'd look like if I was in that, except you would have seen me also going, I'd say, 30 to 40% faster and then into the other wall.
Just catching all of the walls on the way.
Yeah. Just trying to do the PlayStation 1, we just bounce off the scenery to kind of pick up speed. It doesn't work in iRacing. But...
No. The only time I've ever seen that happen was Ross Chastain at Martinsville.
Right. Yeah.
The old NASCAR Thunder Martinsville technique of just running the wall. God, this camera really loves Napa.
The French Napa. Specifically.
Here comes Kent. Here comes Napa again.
They really hit the right spots. Can't say their sponsorship payment was bad. There it is again.
Yeah, whoever handles the marketing for Napa in Canada really they need a raise. Bonus points here for this Quaker State ad.
Surprised it's not in French.
Right. So Cannizzaro back underway. Only a handful of drivers yet to pit. DJ Weeks, Alex Boffoli, Ace House, and Cannizzaro Sr. the only drivers who have yet to pit. The interesting thing here now is you see as you take a look at the scoring pylon here. DJ Weeks not fully counting because he has yet to come down pit road. Philip Scott is running in second. And Johnny Eckert is running in third. Oh, the 91 locks him up heading down pit road. But Johnny Eckert in third, about 4 seconds behind Philip Scott. So with all of that, that allowed Philip Scott to really jump ahead and pick up some more time here as Scott goes into the lead. And he's got a 5-second lead over Johnny Eckert.
Yeah, I don't understand how pits work. I just...
A lot of leapfrogging and a lot of luck.
Yeah, I watch it happen before my eyes, and my brain is just like, nope, don't get it.
It like ultimately boils down to lap time and how much space you have on your exit. Because if you can pit first and have clean air, clean racetrack, no one really holds you up, you just kind of hit your marks and do your thing, you're going to wind up picking up time. And as long as you pick up more time than the driver you're chasing when they come down pit road, in theory, whatever time you pick up is the amount of lead you'll have over the guy who did not pit. If that made any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, we got some of those things.
I understood all of those words, but separately. Jonathan Gaston makes his way down pit road now.
You explaining me that is like the SpongeBob meme of like Patrick explaining like the wallet. It's like, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. No, it's not mine.
Oh, some trouble here for Jonathan Gaston. The reason he headed down pit road. Gaston locks it up.
And just kept going.
Oh,
man, slippery tires.
And then he just says, I'm going to head back to the garage. Trouble here for the 17. He may have locked it up, but let's find out. Oh, they go wide. Big lock up there for the 17. Somehow, they were able to keep it off of each other. Philip Scott has opened this lead up to 6 6/10 of a second. Over Johnny Eckert. Looking for where your favorite driver is, you can take a look here at the map on the right-hand side of your screen. Philip Scott is just about a straightaway lead over the 90. As, Ace House catches the wall. That's going to trip Philip Scott up ever so slightly. That gets the 99 past the 47.
Now, at what point are you hoping for a yellow?
I feel like if I'm Philip Scott, never. Johnny Eckert, he has been picking up ever so slightly of lap time. Like that last time by, Eckert was almost 2 seconds faster than Philip Scott. But that's also because Philip Scott had caught the 47 at just an awkward time. Same here with the 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Eckert was begging Stewart, just hold him up, hold him up.
Yeah. Hold him
I
up,
need to make him
slow
4
down.
seconds.
I see iRacing bucks in your future, just in case. But I feel like if I'm outside of Eckert and Scott, I'm hoping there's a yellow, but you know, the rule here in TNR is there are no yellows for road courses unless it's you know, a catastrophic track blocking incident that, you know, takes out the field essentially. But other than that, we're not seeing a yellow here tonight, which, you know, if you're Philip Scott or one of the, what were the 90? Hey, by all means, that's awesome. That time by Johnny Eckert does a 140.75. Fastest lap of the race. DeBarro, though, is catching both Eckert and Scott. Eckert almost a second faster as Adam Stewart pulls over for Eckert.
Now let's see if I can catch up.
He's some more trouble. This time, Canizaro Sr. has an incident. Likely just going to be a lockup here.
I was going to say, this is the second or third time he's kind of just locked up over here.
So easy to do. Heavy braking, the slowest part of the racetrack there. Ace House mows the lawn, gets back on it. Alex Boffoli. Oh, this corner has really been baffling him. Oh, that was close.
Oh, man. He shaved that one.
You can already see how much damage is on the 08. He's nailed that wall a couple of times.
Yeah. It's definitely going to need a new bumper. Bumper
and possibly a front clip. Hell, just replace the car at this point.
I was gonna say, if he keeps that up, he's gonna need a new seat.
Poor interior guy. But we're halfway through this one. Philip Scott trying a new line there. Looked like it worked out pretty well for him. So now a 5-second lead for Philip Scott over Johnny Eckert. That is the closest battle on the racetrack. Actually, that closest battle is this one here. DJ Weeks trying to track down Anthony DeBarro. As though some more trouble. Adam Stewart's night getting a little more difficult here, as he has another lockup into the hairpin.
You can see that smoke.
Every time you see tire smoke, that's your tires crying out in anger or pain.
It's probably
Tomato or potato. As with that, then Stewart, tires are a little too warm, didn't have grip, and just kind of slid through the chicane there.
Man, the control getting into these things.
And not only that, but knowing when to downshift so you're not getting wheel hop is frankly astonishing.
Yeah, coming out of that hairpin, sounds like they have the car just like idling.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like too. I mean, let's take a look here at the dashboard. 180 miles an hour before slowing down here in second gear to 60.
I'm interested to see how low they have to go on that hairpin. The 30, 35.
So here into the turn 1 and 2 complex, down to about 60, 40, 39 miles an hour there. So 39 is the low, 180 is the high so far.
They're taking these turns at highway speeds.
Yeah. Yeah, you try taking a corner like that in your road car at highway speeds.
It wouldn't be a car that long.
No. All right, so here they are heading into the hairpin now. So 140. First gear. Oh, the 27 goes off. Down to 20 miles an hour. But he was also trying to avoid the 27 at DeBarro.
So I was about right. 30, 35. That's insane.
This is going to be a great camera angle.
Every 1 minute, someone has to go out there and replace the camera.
Right. And you got to be fast because
Yeah, you gotta be quick.
otherwise it ain't pretty. That's actually why you see so many gophers. They're
gonna
trained
say that.
here.
That's
They're
the groundhogs.
it's the groundhogs. They're trained to replace the cameras.
Scott picking up the lead.
Yeah, Philip Scott right now almost a 6-second gap over Johnny Eckert. As we get a great view of this battle here brewing. DJ Weeks trying to track down Anthony DeBarro. Into the chicane, getting ready to head down towards the backstretch. Let's pull up this dashboard again. So 144 is the high. .30 miles an hour. And then from 30 to about $1.80. It's all 181. You got to break out the drone cam for a battle like this. Sorry, but those are just the rules.
It works really great in a park, though. You get the battle, you get the shrubbery, you get the trees. It's nice.
Very nature-y. Nature-y, natural, whatever. Tomato, potato.
Really going out with that tonight, huh?
Listen. Sometimes you just gotta find something to say.
Pickle cucumber?
Looks like Weeks did lock up there that last time through. Adam Stewart has an issue. Also locking up into the hairpin. Ace House has an issue. And oh, he finds the beach.
Not too bad there's no water down there.
Right?
Like a nice little cool down, you know?
Canizar Sr. Oh, he says that looked like fun. Let's do it ourselves. And
I wonder if
then
these tires are just starting to give up.
I feel like at this point in the race, they absolutely are. Oh! Senior almost gets into the back of DJ Weeks. All at that time, Canizaro Jr. also has an issue. Oh, like father, like son, the 77 also goes off into the hairpin.
I gotta imagine it's tires.
Oh yeah, the tires I think have sat there and are crying heavily.
They left the chat, but it doesn't help that the track temps are 104 degrees.
No. As the 47 insult to injury there. He locks up, goes wide, and then spins. Tristan Maher pits and leaves. Makes his way.
The fact that he's consistently hitting an Eckert that chicane and then having two wheels off the ground is terrifying.
Oh, yeah. 2 wheels off the ground, hitting the chicane, getting launched towards the wall of champions. That is a terrifying experience. And every time I'm sure he's just like, ooh, oh no. Philip Scott heading down the back straightaway. Heading off towards turn number 8. This is where we've seen a lot of drivers head off. And you can see the trail of sand coming out of the sand trap.
It looks like we were correct. Cannizzaro Jr. in the pits.
Yeah, so tires starting to give up the ghost. I'm interested to see here what Philip Scott does here. He has the oldest tires out of everyone on track. He pitted back on lap 12.
I was going to say, he pitted on 12. Everyone's pitting now with about 12 to go.
Scott stays out. If I'm Eckert, I might even be thinking, all right, you know what? Why not me? Why not come down pit road now?
Oh. Especially after that wiggle.
More trouble here, this time for Adam Stewart. Little lock up there at the right front. That weltsclothing.com machine. Adam Stewart on pit road. DJ Weeks down on pit road as well. Is Philip Scott going to pit next? Who will blink first? Will it be Philip Scott? Will it be Johnny Eckert?
I mean, I would assume Eckert, but I don't know. I feel like Scott kind of planned to run the race, like you said, backwards.
So if you think about it, the majority of the drivers came down around lap 15. That was where... That was about 15... or with 25 laps to go. Philip Scott came down on lap 10. So a 5-lap difference. Here he comes now. So a 13 lap. So Philip Scott basically sat there and kind of took it in thirds. And oh, Johnny Eckert stays out. This is going to be interesting. Can Eckert now pick up some lap time to make this advantage go away? Can he pick up some time on Philip? Scott in his box doesn't have any issues. DeBarro also makes his way down pit road. So Philip Scott down and away. He's now got a gap of 18.4 seconds.
Oof.
DeBarro, you see that time going up. He had a 15-second pit stop. He was on pit road for 44 seconds.
Yeah.
44 seconds right now. So Ace House goes off track. He's going to jump to the pits. So 44 seconds from entry of pit road to exit of pit road. I'm not a math person.
That is... Yes, we know.
But 44 seconds is longer than 16 seconds.
Yes, that is good.
So Philip Scott, even if Eckert were to pit right now, Philip Scott will still take the lead back.
question is, does Eckert have to pit?
Yes.
He does.
So Eckert makes his way down pit road. Let's take a look here at the car number. The 90 is highlighted in white and yellow. You see Philip Scott on the front straightaway now. Does the 90 try to short pit, only take enough fuel he needs, maybe right side tires only?
There's one set.
And left
There's the
side,
other
so no,
set.
4 tires for the 90. 14.6 seconds stop.
Great pit stop.
Gap now 11 seconds from Eckert to Scott.
And growing.
So now 10.5 laps remaining. The Philip Scott reign of terror continues for now.
Yeah, I mean, with a 12-second gap, he'd have to make up a second a lap.
And I don't see that happening. 55 locks up.
I mean, barring Scott just crashing, I don't see him shortening that gap.
No. So now 11.6 is your gap. But we got a battle here again between Weeks and DeBarro. Weeks does get around DeBarro. DeBarro touches the grass just a little bit. That's also going to welcome in Tristan Maher into the battle. Though about 2 seconds behind this. Does the 90 block? No. DeBarro going to try to make a move here into turn 2. He clips the corner, gets right on the back bumper of DJ Weeks. He's got his nose in there, a little bit of contact. Weeks really fighting to keep the car underneath of him. DeBarro hard through the chicane. Thought about trying to make a move to the outside, can't quite do it. Weeks tries to cover. Down to the mid-stretch. Tristan Maher watching this battle saying, all right, guys, if you want to take each other out, I'll move up.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'll take third.
So far, no dice. Side by side, DeBarro's going to have the advantage into the hairpin. He breaks late. There goes DeBarro.
Eckert just broke 10 seconds. I don't know if that's Scott slowing down to kind of relax, keep the tires cooler, or if Eckert is just racing hard.
That time through. Eckert did run the fastest lap of the race at a 140.2. Oh, Eckert misses the corner.
Ooh.
He was 1.7 seconds faster than Philip Scott, but that all just got thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here at what happened, how the 27 got around the 91. He just broke super late.
And now Eckert picked up almost 3 seconds.
Yeah, now we're looking at 12.7 between Scott and Eckert as Philip Scott getting ready to get 8 laps remaining. Through the final corner, up off the turtles.
Looks like Navarro has moved away, but now Maher is coming after Weeks.
Yeah, let's pick that battle up here as they get down the front straightaway. Tristan Maher. Not a full-time racer here with TNR, but races when he can. Very talented. I believe he had won a race at Talladega earlier this season.
I think that was his first race back.
I think you're right. Yeah, he won Talladega race number 2. And he finished second in race number 1.
Yeah, technically first night back, it counts.
Yeah. Next Monday night, heading off to Dover Motor Speedway, one of my favorite racetracks for 150 laps. Off on Memorial Day, and then June 2nd, TNR heads down to North Wilkesboro. Then they finish the season off strong at Homestead Miami Speedway. That is going to be a fun last three races of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got ourselves a good fight still between Maher and Weeks. Battle for 4th. So with 7 laps to go, Philip Scott has his 11-second lead over Johnny Eckert. Driver out of Michigan. Ninja Phil, they call him.
And he's been for all intents and purposes, looking like his streak will continue.
Yeah. We've mentioned the last time he did not win a road course race with TNR back in September of 2021. So almost a we'll call it a 3.5-year streak. But with 7 laps to go, still could be anyone's race. Not to jinx anyone or anything. But the Ninja, as he's been affectionately called. He's been on American Ninja Warrior so many times, which is just the coolest thing you could possibly say.
Right? I almost throw my back getting out of bed. He's the Ninja Warrior competition.
Yeah. I throw my back out sneezing. Meanwhile, Philip is literally flying through the air on national TV. Here's Johnny Eckert out of Long Island, New York. Currently running P2. He's picked up about a second on Philip Scott, but with 6 laps to go, he's going to need something to happen for him to catch back up.
Yeah.
Here's Anthony DeBarro, currently running P3. He's opened his gap over Tristan Maher by about 3 seconds. Tristan Maher here in fourth with DJ Weeks just behind him. As it looked like Maher had a bit of an issue a little earlier. Was wondering why he wasn't on the back bumper of the 91, and that's exactly why right there. Adam Stewart has a lockup. Whoa, big lockup there as he gets sideways. He's able to recruit. Then DJ Weeks trades off tracks with the 17. That lets the 17 get by him.
It's interesting.
And a lockup there for the 91. And trouble for P2. Johnny Eckert goes off.
The same spot?
Whoa.
Nope.
Through
He's
the Alex
trying to race
Boffley
hard.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that trying to race hard, trying to make up time that is you don't have. And then you start to make mistakes.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely, trying to push, okay, I have 5 laps to go. I need to try to push and do something. Maybe it'll stick.
Man.
As we see that smoke, it looks like the 08 gets a little squirrely here through the hairpin. Oh, yeah, you could hear that wheel hop there.
We're not going for drift tracks here. The first half, though,
that would be fun. Oh, yeah.
Nailed the first half of that bend.
At the same time, Adam Stewart has an off. Whoa, big lock up there. A little too much rear brake.
Oop.
Again, does not hit anything.
I was gonna say, just great saves, if nothing else.
And while all that happens, Canizaro Sr. also has an issue. He just locks it up and lets the 27 go. So 3.5 laps remaining for Philip Scott. Lead is just about the same at 11.4 seconds. Take a look here at the pit lane time. Eckert did pick up about a second over Philip Scott the last time down pit road. .44.7 versus a 43.7. Philip Scott gets around Alex Boffley there. Gap has shrunk ever so slightly over the last 5 laps.
Yeah, not enough, though.
Not at all.
We're going to need to see Scott spin backwards. And even then, I don't know if he'd be able to catch him.
Yeah, spin backwards, turn around, do a couple of donuts.
Park, take a picture of a groundhog.
Take a selfie,
Start
get
going,
back in.
Take a selfie, get back in.
Do some ninja things under one of these bridges.
Right.
Philip Scott just trying to track down the next car in front of him. That is Adam Stewart.
I guess this is just Scott putting on a clinic of how-to road course.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Just a incredibly talented road course racer. These cars are not easy to drive on a road course, and Philip Scott really shows what you can do. As that was some trouble for the 08. Oh.
Whoa.
A lot of trouble for the 08.
Yeah, I think his race is done.
What happened there to the 08? Let's find out. Looks like he has an issue. Whoa, big slide. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
And ooh. Took out the passenger side axle and then came for the driver's side.
That was a hard lick. I am interested to see the dashboard just to see, you know, when he did hit, how hard he did. Already sideways there. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that one. Hope we let go of the wheel on that one. That one would have hurt.
Yeah, that is injured wrist for direct drive wheel holders.
Yeah.
But white flag in the air now for Philip Scott as he gets around the 4 of Adam Stewart. All clear through turns 1 and 2. 12.5 second gap over Johnny Eckert. Through this set of chicanes. Down the not so straight mid stretch. Into the section that we've seen so many drivers have issues with this race.
Yep.
Into the hairpin. Nice and clear. 2 more corners to go for Philip Scott. Driver who has not lost a road course race in TNR since September of 2021. Through the final chicane he comes. Past the wall of champions. Checkered flag in the air. Philip Scott is going to win in Montreal.
And so the streak continues officially.
The streak will continue. There is no dethroning the king of road courses.
Gotta start playing the Undertaker theme music.
Johnny Eckert comes home in 2nd. Anthony Tabarro comes home in 3rd. Tristan Maher drifting it home in 4th. Tries to Scandi flick into the corner and he avoids everyone.
Which is impressive.
Right? DJ Weeks comes home in 5th. Here's John Cannizzaro still out on the racetrack. He has yet to finish, but I think he's going to take this TV time for himself.
Nice and easy, nice and easy. We're doing the Sunday stroll.
Is he going to try to John Force burn out his way down the front stretch?
Perhaps.
I know he usually has the broadcast on while he's racing. So we'll see what he can do. As he slowly takes his time. Oh! Almost catches the wall.
He tried.
And Cannizzaro finally finishes the race. Oh man, always a fun time here at TNR. Great run for everyone. And I believe we're going to try to pull some of these drivers into our interview waiting room as looks like everyone else has already left. So we'll joining there we go. So our Joe, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, Anthony DeBarro.
Hey, Anthony, congrats on the podium finish. What was your plan kind of going into this race? It's a super technical track.
Yeah, I was just glad to be a part of the Philip Scott Clinic tonight. But otherwise, I was trying to push there early to get a lead a lap, and I locked it up, and I got it to Johnny. So sorry to him again. But yeah, I don't know. We were pretty close on all pretty close on one lap pace, and then just seemed like Philip just his tires hung on longer. I don't know exactly. I have to look back at what I was doing wrong to really burn the tires up. But overall third, I'll take that. No too many big incidents, and good points day going back to the ovals next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had a long battle there with DJ Weeks. Did you feel you kind of got locked up in there longer than you wanted to be?
It was interesting because he stayed out longer the first run, and was gaining on me, and then we kind of stabilized, and then he tried to jump me short pit, and do the undercut, and it didn't. I mean, I was stuck behind him for 2 laps, and I was able to get around him, and then I kind of was like behind him. I burned my tires up, so it seemed like the tires, like once you slid them a couple times, you pissed them off, and they really didn't want to come back after that.
Good to note. Yeah, we were wondering. Uh, we noticed some tires were lasting and some people's weren't, and we couldn't quite figure out what the deal was.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it was a wear thing. I think it was when you pissed them off and they like got hot, like heat wise, like you sliding them around. They really just it wasn't very too forgiving.
Well, that's good to know. I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. For a road course, they could kind of get strung out, and but I sort of the two pit stops made it a little entertaining to see when everyone was going to pit and what strategy they were run. And Garrett for putting this on and setting up the server and having us each week and putting this whole deal together. It's a great league to be a part of.
Absolutely. And congrats again. And hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Anthony DeBarro, our third place finisher here tonight. And joining me now is our second place finisher, driver of the number 90, Johnny Eckert. And, well, Johnny, congrats on the second place finish. Looked like just kind of ran out of time there trying to track down Philip. What was it like there in the driver's seat for you?
Oh, I just gave it to him, honestly. I had two course cuts after the pit stop, after each pit stop in turn 2, which were each 5 seconds. And I had another course cut later that was another 2 seconds. And if you look at the gap, that was pretty much all of it. So, yeah, he got handed that one, and it's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. We had good speed, and Another P2. I think it's the 8th one in 2 months on road courses for me, so I'm really sick of this.
Yeah, definitely tough there. I mean, you were putting in some great lap times. You wound up getting the pole, and the first few laps there, fighting between you, DeBarro, DJ Weeks, and Philip. Just everyone kind of putting in some pretty good laps, and then pit stops came and all that sort of thing. What was your strategy kind of going in, knowing, okay, this is probably going to be a 2-stop race? Was there a point where maybe you thought, okay, what if I ran this backwards instead of running, the strategy that you did?
I pretty much came. Honestly, for me, it was just going to end up being where was I at? Was I being held up or something like that? Which is usually a lot of the typical things that you get out of a road course race. If you get stuck in traffic, if you can't pass the guy, you undercut him or whatnot. So honestly, being out in front the first run, it was just kind of ride my race and go as long as I could. I had clean track. It was minding my own business. Second run, it just all fell apart. So at that point, it was try to just make sure I held on to second. And there were a couple times there where I thought it was gone. But I don't know if the Barrow had damage or he was just struggling with tires or whatnot. But at that point I was just kind of managing my gap to the Barrow more than anything else, and just trying to make sure that I didn't wreck myself, because that second run the tires decided pretty much everything for me. I don't even know what I did differently, but my pace dropped off significantly. I went from running 42s to 45s like that, and just couldn't figure out what was wrong. So yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot of say necessarily in the second pit stop, but the first pit stop was kind of just keep it out, keep running as long as I could.
Fair enough. And Johnny, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to the league for hosting the race. I'm telling you, I'm glad this race is over. I don't know what this car is a nightmare on this track. I don't know what's up. Something's weird. Shifting was terrible and whatnot, but I'm glad that's over. But thanks to my teammates, DJ Weiss, Alex Boffley, Jake Bustos, who's still deployed for a while. So shout out to him for for bringing us back. But yeah, I don't know who else I'm missing. I'm probably missing someone. I don't know if I mentioned the admins or not, but thanks to the admins for hosting the race. And yeah, at least I didn't get moved by Scott this time, like last time we ran on the road course together.
That is a very fair point. Well, Johnny, congrats again on the second place finish, and hoping to see you out there next week at Dover.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one.
All right, that's Johnny Eckert, our second place finisher. And Joe, I believe you've made your way down to pit road and Victory Lane with our winner tonight, Philip Scott.
Hey, Philip, congrats on the victory and keeping your streak alive. Was there more stress going into this race, knowing that you had that mantle?
Yeah, honestly, this track, it was like, especially in practice, so much can go wrong on this track. There's so many corners, and I knew like everybody was really fast in practice. Johnny got me for pole by a 10th, and I knew like everybody was pretty quick, but I knew that it would come down to a fall off, because there is like 2 seconds of fall off or something like that. Like, it was just so I had to, like, just the whole race, I tried to push the issue. I tried to get out in front at the start, couldn't quite make it stick, and then DeBarro came through, so I just kind of tried saving my stuff, because I knew they'd kind of battle and try to stay in the 140s. So I just kind of did 141s, 142s all race, and by the end of the first stint, I was like gaining so quickly in some of the corners on Johnny that I did not. I was afraid of like bumping into him, and so I eventually just did the undercut. I figured my pace with a couple lap tires made a lot of difference, but I felt like with the pace I had late in the run, I thought it would even out, and I might even gain a bit, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like, late in the runs, the last couple laps, I was able to like gap the field by like a second or two a lap, and Yeah, it's just all about consistency here and just feeling the car, feeling the throttle, and yeah, these road courses are tough. Definitely a tough one to win.
Yeah, absolutely. We were watching in the booth, and then you were behind, and then we looked at a couple crashes, and we came back, and you were in the lead, and then it kind of just stuck from there.
Yeah. I did not want to do anything stupid to ruin my championship hopes, and I obviously wanted to keep my streak alive. I'm not sure how many races exactly it is because this usually we do two road races a season.
Mhm.
And I think this might be like 9 or 10 in a row. I don't know.
It's up there. We put up a ticker. You haven't lost one since September of 21. So it's moving.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you have any shout outs for us?
Uh, yeah. Shout outs to, of course, check out my stuff at ninjafield.design and check out Team Ninja Association finals streaming on YouTube. That's where I was last weekend, and then I drove. Then I got right back home and was ready for Kern. So that's all I was thinking about on the way. I'm just like, I remember like when I heard, I'm like, oh man, am I gonna have to miss Kern? But thankfully, it all worked out, and yeah. So yeah, the championship stays alive.
Well, absolutely, and congratulations again. And hopefully, we'll be chatting with you next week.
Thanks, man.
All right, that's Philip Scott, our winner here tonight at Montreal. And wow, Joe, what a fun race. A lot of tire strategy, a lot of tire saving, and just a good time overall.
Yeah, absolutely, great race.
Let's take a look here at the final results for tonight's race. Philip Scott gets the win over Johnny Eckert and Anthony DeBarro. Tristan Maher comes home in fourth with DJ Weeks in fifth. John Cannizzaro Jr. finishes sixth. Adam Stewart in seventh. Alex Boffoli in eighth. John Cannizzaro Sr. in ninth. Ace House 10th. Jonathan Gaston 11th. Chris Cabot rounds out our 12-car field for this evening. Next week, Monday night, we're heading to Dover, Delaware for the Dover Motor Speedway. That is going to be a ton of fun. You can see all the action live here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. So, for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the Total Nonstop Racing League from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Have a great night.